Who is that lady that's looking at me? What is she looking for, and what does she see? There's a twinkle in her eye and some wrinkles on her face. Well, who is that lady that's taking my place? I gotta know, I gotta know. She greets me in the morning and sometimes through the day. She smiles when she sees me, and then she turns and walks away. And she's looking kind of weary, maybe even weak. Well, who is that lady, and what does she seek? I gotta know, I gotta know. Well, I reach out to touch her and try to embrace, when suddenly I realize I've got my mother's face. Well, I am that lady that's looking at me. It's only my reflection and my mother that I see. I have that twinkle in my eye, the same wrinkles on my face. I am that lady that takes my mother's place, and I love her so, I love her so. Yes, I reach out to touch her and try to embrace, when suddenly I realize I've got my mother's face. Oh, I am that lady that's looking at me. It's only my reflection and my mother that I see. I have that twinkle in my eye, the same wrinkles on my face. And I am that lady that takes my mother's place, and I love her so, I love her so, I love her so.